Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zogie and I'm a Gemini, which is why this channel is called Zogie the Gemini. If you are watching this video, that means I have officially left Lagos, Nigeria and have decided to go back to London. Oh my gosh, if I actually post this video, that means I'm not in Nigeria anymore. You're watching this whilst I'm in the UK, and I have a reason why, and that's why I want to explain to you guys in this video. So if you're interested to know why I decided to leave Lagos, Nigeria and go back to London, then make sure you stay tuned. And whilst you're there, please make sure you like the video, you comment, let me know your thoughts, let me know what you think about what I have to say, and make sure you subscribe to continue the journey with me. So yeah, let's get into the video. Guys, as I said, if you are watching this, I have left Nigeria, and I leave Nigeria, I leave Lagos with such a heavy heart. Now let me just say this, yeah, this is not the first time I have said, okay, I'm coming to Nigeria, staying for a bit, moving to Nigeria, and then obviously I go back to London. But this is the first time I am leaving with such a heavy heart. This is the first time I'm actually leaving not wanting to leave. This is the first time that I've come to Nigeria and realized that this is where I feel like I'm meant to be long term. This is where I want to be. This is the first time I've come here and really felt at peace, at home. Like, I just feel like this is where I'm destined to be. It's the first time I've had all these emotions. You guys have followed me on a journey for years, like since I've been coming to Nigeria and staying for like a period of time, since I think 2021 was like the first time, so more than 4 years now. It happens when I'm in between contracts, or maybe I lost my job and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's the next step for me. But before leaving the UK, yeah, I was so depressed. Like, I was just so like down in the dumps. And what is crazy, yeah, I can't even tell you, oh, my life was so bad and that's why I was depressed. I feel like majority of it was just how I was viewing the world and my perspective. Coming to Nigeria, you guys can even see in my videos, I have been so much happier. I am so much happier. So I go back to London, yeah, a changed woman. I go back to London, like, I literally came to Lagos, yeah, and I've literally been injected. I've literally been injected with so much happiness, so much positivity, and literally a different way of viewing life. Because one thing you're gonna realize in Lagos is that money day, yeah, money day. And not even just being in Lagos, going to Abuja. In this journey, you guys know we've been to Abuja twice, right? Money is in Nigeria, enjoyment is in Nigeria, happiness is in Nigeria. Things are happening in this country. I understand that for a lot of us here, our parents have said certain things about Nigeria, like it's dangerous, it is dangerous. But at the same time, bro, are there not taking people's phones in London? If they're not stabbings in London, in America, do they, you know, no offense, but do they not like fire weapons? Do you get, there's danger anywhere. I feel like it's the grace of God that keeps us safe, yeah, no matter, even like, I know this is very random, yeah, but is it Denmark? There's one country that is really typically it's Sweden, that typically the crime rate is so low, and they recently had someone like do like a mass shooting. There's crime everywhere, there's danger everywhere, yeah, but it's where you fit in, is where your body, where your spirit calls you to be. And I generally feel like my spirit has called me to be in Nigeria. And me coming to Nigeria, I wasn't supposed to stay for the period I've stayed, even though I kind of had a feeling I was going to stay for a period of time, especially since I lost my contract, or I wasn't in a contract. But just being here, like being around people that look like you, is just a different level. One thing I've loved the most about being in Nigeria is that the roles are reversed. The roles are reversed. At the end of the day, yeah, I was born in London, raised in London, and a lot of you guys were also born in England, or born in America, or born in like a Western country, right? And Western countries are beautiful in the sense of stability, right? That's why our parents went to those countries, because they wanted a stable life for their kids. It's beautiful in terms of stability, in terms of like cultural acceptance, in terms of racial acceptance, in terms of even economic acceptance. I feel like there's only so much and so far someone that looks like me can go in those countries. Don't get me wrong, we have black millionaires, billionaires, right? But they're you can probably count them on your fingers. Like they can fit on an A4 paper. Yeah, when it comes to other races, their race, you probably can't fit all the millionaires. There's too many of them. And the same with Nigeria, you cannot fit the millionaires. I'm not talking about millionaire in naira, I'm talking about millionaires in pounds and dollars, yeah, that reside and live in Nigeria. You cannot fit that on a paper. There's too many. So you go from, I don't want to say bottom barrel, but I would, if I'm being real, yeah, bottom barrel in the sense that, you know, I feel like there's only so far I go from being an ethnic minority in another country to not be ethnic majority. Who's clocking me for my color? Like, hey, my color does not stop me from doing anything. So I go from like the bottom 5% or a small minority to I'm still top percent. Like, I feel like, if I'm being fully honest, yeah, when you were born in a Western country, when you schooled in a Western country, when you were raised in a Western country, you have a mentality, no, you have those three things, yeah. You were born there, raised there, you schooled there, and you worked there. Those four things. And then you also have a good linkage with your natural heritage or your parents' home, which is, you know, whatever African country or whatever, black or wherever it is, yeah, Asia, whatever, right? So you have that linkage. So you understand both worlds. You understand that, okay, I was born in this country, I understand the economy, I can understand like the ecosystem of this country, but I also understand the ecosystem of where my parents are from. I understand what they left, I understand what they sacrificed, and I understand where I'm from, where my color, where my pigment originates from, yeah. So when you're those two things, when you now come to your home country, for me, coming to Nigeria, I now become top 10%, because do you see, like, I am different from someone who was born and raised here. That does not mean I am better, right? Not at all better, but I am different, because the way in which I view the world is a bit different, right? The way in which I approach the world is different, because a lot of the way in which you view the world is due to your socialization. There's primary socialization, which is your family, and then there's economic socialization when it comes to work, and then there's educational socialization. Obviously, that's primary school, secondary school, university, and all of that stuff. So the way in which I view, the way in which I approach a situation will be different as opposed to someone who was born, raised, schooled, and worked here. Do you get what I mean? And I feel that me, as a combination, I'm a combo. Do you get what I mean? So like, I'm obviously Nigerian, my parents are Nigerian, I've been coming to Nigeria, but I have the born in London, raised in London, schooled in London, worked in London. Do you get what I mean? So it's like I become a top 10%. So I'm like, aye, I'm well regarded. Do you get, like, it's not a case where it's like, rah, can they pronounce my name? They still can't pronounce my name. My name is very long. You know, I told you guys my name is not Zogi. My name is much longer. Zogi is an abbreviation of my name. But still, they still try. They still try. They're like, they still try. Do you get? They still try. So it's just like, just being in an environment, yeah, where, you know, the way in which you're regarded is different from the way you were raised, actually, because you were raised to like fit in, right? Or try your best to fit in, even though, you know, culturally you're different and color wise, racially you're different, but just still try and fit in with British people. Just try and still merge with them. And I love British people, don't get me, I love British people, but for me, coming here and being here has really changed my perspective of just Nigeria in general. Now you're probably wondering, okay Zogi, if you love Nigeria so much, why you leave? Why did you decide to leave Nigeria? There's one thing I said at the start of this video, where I said England has economic stability. That's why our parents left Nigeria. They left because of the economic stability that the Western world has to provide. Naira fluctuates way too much. Naira, as when I said it in a previous video, as to when I started coming, I think Naira was like 150 Naira or 200 Naira to £1. Naira as of now is 2,000, right? So that's like a 100%, or is it 10%? Not 10%. Okay, I'm never going to try and do the math, but it basically is different. It's a massive fluctuation, it's a massive inflation in terms of how Naira is in comparison to any other currency. Now, for me, yeah, the only reason why I'm returning to the UK is because I really want to get a stable remote job. And you're like, okay, can you not get a remote job in London, in England, no, whilst being in Nigeria? I feel like, I don't know, my body is telling me, yeah, I have a better chance of really finalizing and getting a remote job whilst I'm in London, because I feel like even if I find a job that's not necessarily advertised as remote, but they do not mind remote working. So let's say, for example, the first couple months here, I going on a hybrid basis where I go in, let's say 3 times a week, right? So they kind of get to know me. And especially as a PMO manager, I told you guys before, I'm a project management office manager and I specialize in business transformation projects. So essentially when you want to change like the infrastructure of your businesses and making sure that, you know, you have someone to overlook your project portfolio or just a program portfolio, that's where I come in. So whether you want to do CRM, whether you want to do CMS, whether you want to do data transformation projects, that's where my role comes in. And a large part of my role is working with personnel, project personnel, just like operational personnel. So the more I can get to know them, the more like I familiarize myself with them, the better. So in my head, I'm just like, okay, cool. If I try to even see if I can get a hybrid or get a remote, yeah, get the ground running whilst in the UK. When I am stable, when I'm like, let's say maybe I'm giving it 3 months. I can't lie, giving it 3 months, yeah. Once I've been able to really get my foot in with the team, then even when I first interview, I will let them know that, okay, are you open to a remote, you know, me working remotely, but I'm happy to obviously, whilst it is the team bonding, the first initial for me to come in and da. The reason why I have to do all of this is because Naira is not stable. I cannot afford to earn in Naira because my life is not just in Nigeria. I am obviously a hybrid of a UK girl and a Nigerian girl. So if I was to live in Nigeria, I do still want the luxury of being able to travel like I do. I still want to be able to live the life. I want to live a better life. And getting money in Naira, because I cannot trust the value of the currency, I need to ensure that the money I'm earning preferably is in pounds, not even dollars, preferably is in pounds, because one thing the UK has is economic stability when it comes to their currency. Whereas I know that there's inflation and things are more expensive, cost of living, I get it, right? Tax and all of that, but the pound is still one of the strongest. Yeah, I know it's not the strongest. I think Kuwait, somewhere near UAE has the strongest currency ever, yeah. But even though they have the strongest currency, it's still not as influential as the pound. So if I want to try and save to buy a house one day, if I want to continue to scale up my business, then I need to ensure that I have a consistent monthly income. Right now, you guys know I do multiple things, right? And there is some income, obviously content creation, the hair, but it's not consistent. I don't have a stable, I know exactly how much I'm earning every month, and that's the problem. And I feel like it would be irresponsible for me to move to Nigeria, like permanently stay here, whilst not having like a stabilized, I know how much money, because obviously when you have a stabilized income, you can future plan. You can say, okay, let me put this money to aside and put this down for deposit, or do this to invest in the hair, and this. So once I'm able to find a job, even if I was able to find a job in Nigeria that paid in pounds, great. Do you get it? But obviously that's going to be really hard. Finding a job that pays in dollars potentially, but pounds is a bit too far-fetched, because pounds holds a bit too much weight, so they'll rather pay you in Naira or dollars as opposed to pounds. But yeah, that is literally the only reason. There's no other reason. Previously, I've said in previous years, oh, I felt like Lagos, the partying is too like it was distracting me. Because being in Lagos for as long as I've been in Lagos is really what you make here. Lagos is really what you make here. There's a party somewhere every day happening in Lagos. Do you need to go to party every day in Lagos? No, you don't. Can you stay in your yard? Yes, you can. Can you go to, like, you know, dinner with friends? Can you do like other things that are really enjoyable in Lagos that are not partying? Yes, you can. And I feel like being here for an extended period of time has really taught me that Lagos just has so much to it. Even like you guys have seen, I've gone salsa, art and craft, going to the beach. There's so much, like, and the weather is beautiful. So now I know, and I've always known, when it comes to the quality of life in Nigeria is absolutely beautiful. But as I said, it's just it's the naira. That's my only thing. God is my witness. There's no other reason. There's no other reason why I will not permanently live in Nigeria apart from the naira. But I realized here, and I said it in the first video where I'm just like, oh, I feel like Nigerians are not like accepting me as much as I want them to accept me. And someone was just like, but Zogi, you need to celebrate like your individuality. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. And I think that's what made me realize that I am a variant, and I said this in a previous video. I am a variant, and there's a lot of us that are variants where, as I mentioned, raised, born, worked, went to school in London, but want to, you know, be in Nigeria, have a good connection, a close connectivity with Nigeria. But the reality of it is, I can't sit down with a native Nigerian who went to school and be like, oh, do you remember GSS 1, or how uni was, or I remember when we was in secondary school and they used to make us do the national anthem. No, I still don't know the Nigerian national anthem. Do you get it? So there is that difference, but there is also a relatability where we like, is in the blood. We're all, blood-wise, we're all connected to this land. We're all, whether I wasn't born here, my parents were born here. If Nigerians will say, or if, not Nigerians, sorry, Benin people say, or if Fagien is in the blood, is in the blood. Do you get? So I've now realized that it's okay, and I've made like a good amount of friends whilst I've been here. A majority of them are UK or America based, and because we are like slightly a variant, as I said, doesn't mean we're not at all better, but we're just a variant of Nigerians. And since that's in existence, I love that. Now I know, yeah, if you were born and raised and went to school and worked in England, or you that's the same thing but for a different country, or all those things but just for a different Western country, you are going to find it hard, especially if you've got a really good support system in England and America or Germany, wherever you're from, right? Wherever you were born or raised. You are going to find it hard to just leave that place and come to Nigeria. Because I feel like sometimes when people think about someone moving to Nigeria, they feel like you've moved and left Nigeria, and then if you go back to England, it's like, oh, why are you going back to England? I thought you moved to Nigeria. Then I realized, actually, no. London is as much as part of my identity, especially South London. South London is as much of integrated into my personality as Nigeria is, because I was born in South London, I was raised in South London, I went to school in South London, I went to uni in Sussex, but I even worked, all my jobs have actually been in like South/Central London, so it's really a massive part of my identity. But Nigeria, I've spent summers here, I spent Christmas here, I remember coming with my parents, my family is part of my personality. So even me, when I do decide to move to Nigeria, now I'm going back to London trying to, you know, I guess go into this new chapter of my life. But even when I do come back to Nigeria, doesn't mean I'm not going to then go back, especially with a remote job. I can't lie, I'm definitely going to be in between, like be in London, be here. Do you get what I mean? Because I'm not going to come, even if I move to Nigeria, I'm not going to just only be, I'm not just only going to be in Nigeria. Because even with my sister, I told you my sister moved 14 years ago, and she explained that it was actually by accident. But within a year, or throughout the year, my sister spends minimum 3 months in London. Like she'll do like 3-4 months in London every single year. And that's also because she's a London girl. Do you know what I mean? Even though she resides and she's making money and really like has settled into Nigeria, London have families in London. Do you get what I mean? And my friends and my family are in London. So yeah, that's essentially my plan. So yeah, that's everything. As I said, if you're watching this video, I have gone back to London to start this new chapter with full intentions of coming back to Nigeria. But even when I do come back to Nigeria, will I still go back to London? Yes, I will. Yes, I will, because London is part of my DNA. Nigeria is part of my DNA. But thank you so much for watching this journey, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this journey of, you know, me coming to Nigeria and almost like finding, like, coming out of my show in some ways. And I feel like, because, you know, and this is, I won't talk about this too much here, but, you know, I mentioned when I lost the weight, right, I did feel like there was a new birthing of a new version of me, right? And it's true. It did birth like a different version of me. But being Nigeria has looked a different, because basically what I'm trying to say is, I thought weight loss is the only time where I would feel like something new has come out, as birthday, like something different has evolved. But I never knew that being in Nigeria, being in my father's land and my mother's land, would actually almost similar feeling of how I felt with weight loss. It's kind of like a new version of me, like, oh, this is how I am in a completely different climate, in a different culture, in a different society, because Nigeria is not England, England is not Nigeria. Yes, there's similarities, but to really understand and really to live here, you have to understand that Lagos is not London and London is not Lagos. As I said, there's similarities, but the way in which you approach it, you can't approach as a London girl, you need to approach as a London Nigerian girl. The reality of it is, I can never really fully approach it as a Nigerian girl, because I am not just purely a Nigerian girl. I am an English Nigerian girl, London. Do you get it? Like, there's that collabo, there's that variant, there's that intertwined, that interconnectedness, there's that different, do you get what I mean? So the way in which I approach Nigeria is going to be the way in which I approach Nigeria from my lens, from being someone, as I said, coming from my background, but also really wanted to be in touch with the land and being here and actually seeing a future here. So that's everything from me. I feel like I've wrapped up the video quite a few times. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this series. Let me know your thoughts down below. Once again, stay tuned for the next chapter. I'm probably not going to post videos for maybe the next few weeks, maybe a month or two, because I'm just trying to figure out my next steps. Do you know what I mean? As I said, I'm going back with the hopes to secure some type of role that I really feel like can work with me, not just in the UK, but whilst, you know, being in Nigeria. Do you get what I mean? So I really don't know what the next steps are, but by the time I come back on, hopefully I would have figured that out. So I guess I'm technically taking like a break, a mini break from YouTube, because even alongside me going back to London, there are some other things that is happening. Yeah, there's a few things that are happening in the next couple weeks, in the next couple months, but you know, when I come back on, we can cross that bridge a bit more. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you check out all my other videos, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye guys.